Hey Naughty community, welcome back to my naughty hobby with Amber for part 3 of the beaded butterfly graph that we've been working up. If you're following along exactly with me, we left off on, I believe the last row completed was row 16. You know, once again on the even rows, I haven't written them down because they're all the same. It's just a single crochet into each of your stitches across. So we are all ready to start row 17, and we're just going to jump right into this. I'm using thread, crochet thread number 10, crochet thread, and a 1.5 millimeter hook. So real quick, let's just take a quick peek here. We're going to have a total of 22 beads, so if you wanted to bring up those 22 beads, you can. Let's see here. We're going to single crochet 11 and then bead stitch 11. So I just did that chain 1. I'm going to bring my camera down a little bit closer, make it easier to see. And again, that's 11 single crochets. There's 5. There's 10 and 11. Now we're going to leave here row 17, single crochet, bead stitch 11. Now I'm going to double check our graph. Oh no, that makes sense. Okay. I think we're good. So I'm just going to pull up 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. There's our 5th bead. let's take a look at our pattern. I think it's just one single crochet, but let's double check. Bead stitch 11, single crochet, bead stitch 3, single crochet. So I'm going to bring up those 3 beads that I need. So I'm going to single crochet, then bead stitch 3, there's that third one. Now we're going to single crochet 1 and bead stitch 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Just going to do about 4 or 5 at a time. That seems to be what I am comfortable with holding in my hand here. So here is our 6th of the 11 on this row. Very last one for this row. Okay, this is, again, we just completed the bead portion of row 17. So continue with your single crocheting to the end, chain 1, and then single crochet into each of your stitches back across. You can pause the video here and I will meet you back for row 19. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look for row 19. We're going to single crochet 10 and then bead stitch 29. And this is pretty simple, just single crochet in our remaining stitches after the 29 bead stitches. Leave that right here, kind of eye shot of the camera. Except for my camera will want to focus solely on that, so I'm going to move it just a little. There we go. Again, we're doing 10 single crochets. There's 5, 6, There's 29 bead stitches, and I'm going to do mine in groups of 5. Completed that 5th bead stitch. 5 more. Might have to pull through a little bit of slack. There's 10. Okay, start to see our butterfly coming together. That was 15 beads we've done so far for this row. There was 20. Pulling up 5 more. 29. Let's go ahead and just single crochet to the end of our work. Once again, for our odd number rows, just chain 1, turn our work. We're going to single crochet into each of our stitches across. You can pause the video here and I will meet you back for row 21. Alright, we're ready to start row 23, and this row is going to be worked exactly the same as row 21, where we single crochet 10, bead stitch 29, and then single crochet in the remaining stitches across for a total 9 of 29 beads in this row. So let's do those 10 single crochets before we start the pattern. So far, your little piece should be looking similar to this. This one's 10. I'm going to double check my stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. And again, I've brought up my 20 stitches, or 20 beads, 29 beads, and I'm going to work them in little rows of 5 at a time. Go ahead and bring on 5 or 6 more beads, whichever feels comfortable and manageable in your hands. And once we get to the widest portion of our graph, which is in just a couple of rows, it becomes so much easier to move your beads down the line. I'm sure that you know by now that that is really the most tedious part, is having to move your beads and trying not to move too many at once, getting impatient like I've done, because then your fiber starts getting kind of, you know, all tangled up and looped around the beads. I feel like when I try to move too many beads at once, instead of saving time, I probably add on 3 to 7 minutes of untangling thread. I'm like, man, I would have just chilled out and only moved a few beads at a time. We've already been crocheting again. Oh, I love the color of this coral. The coral pink is really pretty. This is what I have left for this row. It's a lot of beads. I'm holding on to here. Two of these beads, maybe not. Oh, just one of those. Counted an extra. Let's just be sure. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 29. All right, you're good to pause the video, continue with your single crochets, and then your row of single crochets. Go ahead and grab your written. You can mark off row 23, and I'll meet you back for row 25. Alright, I think I jumped ahead of myself a little bit on our pattern, but not that we're thrown off or anything. I marked that we were already done with this row 23, but that's actually the row that we are starting on right now. So go ahead and pull up 29 beads if you haven't already. I've got chain 1 on my hook already. Turn your work, and we are going to work once again 10 single crochets, and then we'll bead stitch 29, just like the last 2 rows that we've worked. 10. Okay. Now we're going to bead stitch 29. I love when I'm working graphs and I get to about this point where I can really see the graph coming together. And it's a lot easier when you're just kind of lounging on your couch or your comfiest crochet spot when you're working on this. It's a little awkward for me, but I'm making it work. And I appreciate you hanging out and watching my videos. Every minute really counts when you're trying to grow your platform, so I really appreciate it. Ooh, yay, starting to get into that mauve color. That right there. Ooh, I love it. It's kind of metallic-y. There we go. These misshaped, inconsistent beads. Dang it. I have so many colors available in the crummy beads. I am most definitely going to be using my neon beads for my next project. It's been a struggle not to start a new project with them. But I told myself, girl, get this butterfly graph done before you start something else. So here I am finishing up, or at least working on, the butterfly graph. Hopefully you're starting to get the hang of this bead stitch. Feels kind of awkward at first. Definitely took me a while to get the hang of it. Got a few more for this row. 3 to be exact. As all of our other rows, you can go ahead and pause your video here, and I'll meet you back for row 25. Okay, we just finished up row 24, just that row of single crochets, and we're ready to start row 25. So bring up 31 beads we're going to single crochet 9 and then do 31 bead stitch and single crochet in the remaining. So the main number here to remember is 9 for our single crochets and 31. I've already done my chain 1. And again, we're working just 9 single crochets. There's 5. Six, I believe. 7, 8, and 9. Now we have 31 beads. The easiest way to do this is bring up the beads that you need. I've got the beads for the next 2 rows pretty close. Here's 5. Let's see if I can keep that on the right side there. You can hear my kiddos are starting to get home from school. So I'm going to try to get far enough along into this to where I'll only have to do one more video to make it complete. I'm recording. Pull up a few more beads. Is pretty long. So these light purple on my design were actually supposed to all be these fuchsia, but the crummy beads that I ordered only have about 100 of each color, so I had to mix them with these lighter ones. And didn't realize that I hadn't prepared enough in the mix with the lighter, so I don't know. Hopefully it won't be that noticeable of a difference. I should have all done them the lighter pink. Since our last row had 29 beads. Let's see here. Had 29 beads. This one has 31, which means we're gonna have one extra off of our last bead on each side. That's one way to think about it when, if you're maybe trying to avoid going back and counting how many are on there. If you look at the bead count, so this is just a straight away row, meaning we don't have stitches between our bead stitches. It's just a solid row for our bead portion. Three more. Another little hack as you're working up these rows is, you know, because butterfly wings are mirrored of the other, it should always follow the same pattern. So it was easy for me to tell that red, orange, orange, red was going to be the end because that is what I started with. So, as you know, we're going to go ahead and finish single crocheting down this row and then doing our solid rows of single crochet. Since this was our first row with 31, let's go ahead and mark off row 25. We'll crochet row 26 and I will meet you at the beginning of row 27. Go ahead and pause the video. Alright, we're ready to start on row 27 here. This row is going to be worked exactly like row 25 where we single crochet 9. We will bead stitch 31 and then single crochet in the remaining stitches, chain 1 and turn for a total of 31 beads. So let's get that going. So we're single crocheting in 9. Here's 5. 6, 7, 8, and 9. We'll start on those bead stitches. Like 31 beads, but maybe it is that I pulled up. My counting's definitely been off before. Lucky for everybody, I do make human error. I'm not fake. must have been 31 stitches or beads. You can kind of tell by how many I grabbed in that first handful. See, with these, what I was considering fuchsia, I had mixed them with those. Again, hopefully it doesn't look too tacky, that it was solid on the bottom and then kind of grew into a variegated, I guess, or mixed. Trying to be better about not stressing about little mistakes. Definitely not worth like cutting my yarn and restringing beads. Not when it comes to this method. Piece itself is starting to get heavier as more beads are added to it. Geez, oh Pete, see that bead there? From rubbing, you know, along the thread, it's starting, the color is starting to kind of rub off of it. You know, friction, that, and also I've mentioned a couple times I bought cheap beads off of Amazon, and I definitely got what I paid for. They're not horrible, but they are not good quality. Just 4 more bead stitches. You can go ahead and pause your video, or pause this video, and I will meet you back. Just did row 27, so go ahead, crochet row 28, and I will meet you back for row 29. Oh, it was out of the frame there, but we're going to be on row 29, so you could pull up 31 beads for our next row. Alright, we're ready to start row 29. So far, your butterfly graph should be looking like this. And your reverse side should be looking something similar to this. Already done my chain 1 and turn, and now just like our previous row, we'll just check real quick. We're gonna single crochet 9, bead stitch 31, and then single crochet in our remaining stitches. So just like the last 2 rows. 6, 7, 8, and 9. We're ready to start bringing on beads. Again, that number was 31, just like our last row. So all these beads should line up perfectly, just like these ones are. Got another miss. I was going to make that work. Another misshaped bead there. That orange one is long compared to the rest. Still a few more than I can hold comfortably in my hand. See, that's what happens is I'm not able to maneuver around the bead when I try to hold too many in my hand. So, okay, Amber, stop rushing. Again, we want our last bead stitch of this row to match up with our previous row. I feel like size-wise, these beads are getting real weird. I have to do a little just pulling and stretching of my stitches to help, I guess, lessen how noticeable they're all kind of different and weird. This time, before I pause the video, I will remember to mark on our pattern I think I did last row too, but one of these rows this time, I'm trying to get that, which one's preventing it? There we go. The pattern here. I'm gonna mark off row 29. Go ahead and finish single crocheting across, and then for our even row, and I will meet you back for row 31. Okay, we're ready to start row 31, and just like our previous 3 rows, it's going to be worked exactly the same, where we single crochet 9, bead stitch 31, and then single crochet in our remaining stitches, chain 1 and turn. I've already put the chain 1 here on my hook. So do my work, and let's work 9 single crochets. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Go ahead and get your beads ready to work with. We are working on the last, longest beaded row. After this one, they get a little bit shorter. At least the beads, not the rows themselves. Throughout this whole piece, we will always have 49 stitches across. A little more than halfway done with the actual beaded rows. So that's exciting. Hope you're having fun hooking up this project. I think the beaded graphs are wonderful and really do turn out beautifully. I haven't seen a lot of crochet done where they incorporate beads that look like a noodle hair. What is going on here? It's gonna drive me crazy. big old bead. Pink one. Most of our bright pinks or fuchsias are going to be in the last few rows, and I don't know that it's my favorite. So I think it's coming along beautifully. I'm at that point where I have to pull more slack through my line, through my thread, I should say, crochet thread. Okay, that's the final bead of row 31, our last row with 31 beads. This is a good stopping point. We're at the hour mark for this video tutorial. So I'm gonna hop off of here before my hands start cramping up. Here's what I have left for my beads for us to crochet. Again, like I said, we are about, for the last few minutes of this video, we are about halfway done with our graph. I feel like this gives you a better idea when you can start to see it kind of far away. It's easier to start making it out. But we've got that, and then, you know, a lot less for our beads. This is all that we have left to go. So I hope that you're enjoying this. Sorry that I'm having to cut it into so many different parts. I'm thinking that we just have about probably one more before we're completed with this and we start our finishing techniques. So if you're hooking this up along with me, I'd love to see your progress so far and just what you think about this pattern. Thanks so much for spending time with me. Happy hooking, and I'll chat with you guys all real soon.